Welcome to North Texas Networkers, a show about connecting people across the DFW Metroplex. As realtors, we get the opportunity to meet and work with a variety of interesting people.
And this is our chance to introduce you to them. Join us as we talk with our community influencers, share their inspiring stories, and reveal how and why they shape our local communities.
I'm your host, Caralee Gurney.
And I'm your co-host, Stacy Revely.
Thank you for joining us. Hello, I'm Caralee.
Hi, and I'm Stacy.
And we are so thrilled today to have Maylee Thomas and Fuller and Mayor George Fuller with us. And also I want to just recognize Willow Bend Mortgage and Craig Schrank for always sponsoring our show that we're so grateful to have and meet these great people. First of all, Maylee Thomas Fuller, you are a philanthropist, former band member with the Rolling Stones, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right. Okay. There you go.
She has the Maylee Thomas Band. She also is a philanthropist with several different ones, but both she and Mayor Fuller have started Love Life Foundation. Mayor Fuller, you also have a lot of things going on.
I have a few.
Guitar Sanctuary, you're a builder, developer, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So,
and mayor of one of the fastest growing cities in the country.
Wow.
So
That's a lot going on.
the greatest city in the country.
There you go.
And,
well, let's start at the beginning and tell us a little bit about your family. Tell us about
Sure.
how you guys met. And
Well, I'll let George talk about how we met, but we have 4 children and 2 grandchildren now, which is crazy cool.
grandchildren are better than
That's the
children
best.
sometimes,
It's the
aren't
best. And they live one street over, so that's even better. We can go see them pretty often. Our children, I'm almost an empty nester. Our youngest is starting school at the Art Institute this year, and we're really proud of her for that. We have a son that's in the Army. Very excited about his future. He was just selected to try out for what his passion is, which is skydiving, a team called the Golden Knights, which is basically they would, he would work right alongside with the Blue Angels. And so I'm excited about that because if he gets on that, Mommy will be happy because he'd never see any combat, no matter what happens. So.
Isn't that an oddity when you are happy that your son will be out of harm's way because he's jumping out of an airplane?
Yes.
Is he out of harm's way?
Pretty much what I should have expected. He told me, Mom, when I said, son, really? You want to jump out of an airplane? His name is Rain. He said, Mom, you named me Rain. I'm supposed to fall out of the sky.
And in context, the Golden Knights is a skydiving exhibition team for the Army, for those that don't know.
And then our son, Austin, our oldest son, is working with George in the family business. And then our daughter, Million, just got home from 2.5 years of being with YWAM, which is Youth with the Mission. And she's our daughter that we adopted from Africa. And she's got a heart for change and helping, those that are less fortunate. And so she's back home and working in a school that we support called Holy Family School. So life is really good right now for us as a family
amazing.
and our kids.
So how did you two meet?
Yeah. Well, notice in the beginning she said, I will handle this and then I'll let George say that's our relationship. I just want to say, first of all, I want to thank Maylee for letting me. No, it's great. How did we meet? We're both musicians among many other things. And one day back in I guess it was 1990, I was playing with my band down Dallas Alley, and we took a break, and I walked over to see another band, and it was Maylee and the band she was in. And if you've seen her perform, you would understand my attraction at first sight. And then, oddly enough, that following Monday, they called a recording studio, owned a studio at the time, and asked if our studio knew any guitar players because they're looking for a guitar player.
There you are on screen right there,
Is that me? Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wow.
not me.
No,
See, that's different.
that's her.
That is that's Maylee, and our wonderful friend Andy Timmons playing guitar and Mike Dane on bass. And there's a symbol in the way of the drummer, so I don't know who that is. But it's,
Very high energy, it looks like.
but that's how
I
we
can
met. We
see
met
it.
musically and started playing together, and then that ended up turning romantic, and then married in 1994.
Wow,
So it's been a crazy journey since then.
that's exciting. So,
And if you'd have said that he was going to be the mayor of McKinney someday and I was going to be his wife, I would laugh at you. Say there's no way.
Not quite how you envisioned your path in life going.
No, but
huh?
it's been very exciting, and he actually is doing a fantastic job, and I'm really proud of him. And we both have made McKinney our home, so it just feels really natural to be in the position that we're in because we love it so much. And
you know, it's a great city. And what made you decide to run for mayor?
Oh gosh, you know, we it's a fast-growing city, and the time we're in right now, as a city that's such growing at such a pace, we knew we needed to find somebody that really had development experience or vision, just somebody that we felt. I say we. I'm talking about the business community that I'm involved with. That would be a good shepherd of the city as we grew, and strategic thinker and that kind of thing. So I didn't come to mind at all for myself. We picked many people that we went and met with, but over a many month period, it just people in our group kept saying, George, you need to do it. You need to do it. And I said, no, I definitely don't need to do it. I don't even think I want to do it. But truly, it was just about the city and being at a place in my life where I have the ability to make the time to serve a community that's been tremendous for me, for my family. So
I always thought we did it for the money.
well, we did. I get $450 a month, I think is what I get. I don't know, but so definitely for the money. But no, it's obviously an honor to get to serve in a community that you feel so passionate about.
You know, I think of, or a lot of people think of a city and the growth and the things that you're doing, and you talk about the growth of McKinney. You mentioned that. You know, from a community standpoint, I think Stacy and I think a lot about the people, the hearts, and what you can do to change people's lives. I think you're doing that a lot with your charity. But what one thing do you think people in a community can do to make a difference in the people in McKinney, or even in the community as a whole, the county?
Gosh, I would say stop putting the letters UN in front of social media. Stop making it unsocial media. Make it social media. Truly, that's actually what I would say. I would say that if there is anything people could do in the community across this country, across the state, across the world, for me, especially as an elected official, you know that there's ugliness and whatnot online. But when you put yourself in the position like I have as an elected official, I think you see the underbelly of that much more. So what I if I could change one thing, it would have people really remember social media, not unsocial, and start being kind and respectful to one another. I mean, I think the divisiveness if we have divisiveness in the city, you can almost always trace it back to a lot of rhetoric online, much of which is unsubstantiated kind of stuff, and across the country, same thing. So for me, I'm passionate about my disdain for that keyboard warrior, kind of social media antics.
But on the flip side, it's all what you make it. And I tell my kids all the time, we have, they live in a time where, gosh, if we would have had the ability to just ask Google a question about something. I mean, we had to go to the library to research on microfiche. Remember that?
And the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh yes, and we had to have encyclopedias, and to look things up. And so it is tremendous what it's done for them in that regard. And I think that it can be a real positive asset if we just look at it that way. But it's all what we make it and how we do it. And I actually use social media in a very positive way to get the word out, about things that we're passionate about. And it's been very good. But I think Georgia and I both, we've been very vocal about the fact that we think the divisiveness that's going on through partisan politics and, just when people would just find the things that they can agree about and not the things they don't agree about, we can get so much more accomplished. And I think as a community, we're growing so much, and so many different people are coming into our community from different religious backgrounds and ethnicities, all of that, and we love it, and we love embracing them and learning about them. And I think that for us both, we're very, very strong leaders in trying to bring people together and find all the things that we have in common.
I love that. I'm glad we asked that question because it's such a great, solid answer.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Love Life Foundation was founded, 1992?
1992. There were about 6 of us at the time that started it, and it's pretty much come back to where George and I are heading it up. And my parents helped us with this, and another
Really?
couple that have moved on, and it's been very rewarding.
So what is the mission of the Love Life Foundation?
So we started out, really focusing on at-risk women and children and abuse. We were very instrumental in helping start the Advocacy Center, Collin County Advocacy Center, and helping with CASA and a lot of those different groups. And it's just grown now to really reach out to the underserved. And as you guys know, I know because you both have a philanthropy background, as we grow, so do the needs. And I'm just, my heart is full when I see how our community has gotten behind us. And, we have a lot of outreaches on different sides of the scope, and so many people show up and give and want to be a part of it. And it's just a really rewarding thing. It's probably the most selfish thing I've ever done because it makes me feel really good to do it. And I'll be honest, that's why I do. That's why I do it.
So when you're picking charities that you're going to support, what criteria do you pick? Is it just children? Is it?
It's a lot of it is women and children.
Okay.
But just we've pretty marked ourselves lately of just whenever we find out somebody that can actually see a major difference. I mean, we've never been sponsored by major corporations. It's literally by a lot of grassroots efforts. And what I like to do is have us help people that where a $10,000 donation or $5,000 donation makes a real difference in their life. And, so that's a lot of our criteria.
And what are some of the things that you do?
Well, we've, in the past year, some of the most rewarding is we helped with a lot of other people, a girl that needed a van, an all-access van, and we were instrumental in helping get people together for that, and it was a community effort. I think that's probably one of the best feelings in the world was how McKinney came together, and a lot of different groups got together and raised enough money to get this girl a van that now she's mobile.
Yeah, and right after high school, she had been in a tragic accident, a victim of someone drunk driving, and left her paralyzed in a wheelchair. And so imagine, her dependency on getting around and being able to be involved and engage in the community. And she's got that loving, giving, spirit herself, and she wants to be out there and had to rely on people to get her around. And now she has the ability to take herself wherever she wants to go. And I can tell you, wherever she wants to go is always a place she should be. And because she's just a ray of sunshine, hope, and
I want to go ahead and give a shout out to her. Her name is Tanya Winchester, and she's got she's got a motto: "Save for a purpose." And she's taken tragedy and turned it into a real tremendous asset, because now she goes out and speaks to kids about the importance of not being in a car with someone that's been drinking, and she's just a phenomenal spokesperson. And that's just part of McKinney and what we do and how we've been a tremendous community in helping her get that message out.
Do you mind me asking him, is there any one thing in your life that made you really have a passion to want to help others?
Yeah, I was one of those kids that was
us?
actually a victim of a horrific thing like that, and so I knew that at some point I wanted to be a spokesperson and not be ashamed to admit that I had a tragic abuse situation in my life. And George gave me the strength to do that as I got older, because we wanted people to know there's no stigma involved in admitting to that, you know. But I didn't want to be a victim the rest of my life. I wanted to be a victor, and I wanted to be able to talk about it. And so, we all came together, and now I'm not ashamed to tell the story, and I want people to know that it happens. And
Well, and I think it's out of context because you didn't state, so I'll state it. It was sexual abuse.
yeah,
It's,
sexual abuse as a child from a family member, and at a time when you think you're supposed to be protected. So it was a stepdad, and my mom actually, she didn't know how to handle it, and she ended up giving me up. And so I went on to live a tremendous life with my father and my stepmother, and full circle, I was able to, I forgive her, my mother, and after almost 30 years, reunited with her and put her in a home because she was, not doing so well, and she just recently passed away a couple months ago, and I can tell you that I have a peace about where I ended up with her.
Forgiveness is very powerful,
It is.
isn't it?
It really is.
That's amazing.
You can see it on your face too, that you can tell. You are a victor.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's how I want to be
Yeah.
remembered.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit and tell us about the Guitar Sanctuary. What is the Guitar
Just
Sanctuary?
the greatest store that ever existed on planet Earth. I mean, there's a when you walk in our store, and I think there's a picture of it. It truly is. It's just a passion for me, playing guitars, and specifically when I opened the store, it was all about creating a place where people that were passionate about their instruments and what they built and those who played could come together. And so we have a lot of boutique amp and guitar builders from all across the world that we take and stock. In the store we have players that come in. It's just a great community of musicians, feeling store, and love it. Love the Guitar Sanctuary.
Well, and along with that, we have a venue that's connected to it. We have a 300-person venue, and we are able to have these, fantastic musicians come in and play.
It's so fun.
And so it's just, and it's also a
of
place
synergy
where we
there.
can play.
Is that where you do your radio shows sometimes?
Actually, no. I'm at KLAK, which is it's 97.5 radio
Yes.
station. We have Texas Homegrown Music Show, but what's great is we can bring them in and have them play at the event center, and we do that a lot, and it's just been really, really fun, and like I said, it gives Georgia and I a place to play. And
Well, it started, our dear friend Andy Timmons, who was in that first video clip, guitar player, musician extraordinaire. He and I went on this quest to find a currently manufactured delay pedal that creates delay, to mimic accurately what everyone considers the best piece of gear that was made 50 years ago that you can't find anymore. So the quest was, we're going to open a store, and I'm going to bring every pedal from across the world, every manufacturer, until we find the right pedal, then I'll close the store. So, and I thought, this has got to be less expensive than me buying on eBay every pedal I see. I'll be the distributor. And that was not the best decision that I made as far as being less expensive. But truly, it was one out of passion. One thing that's happened with the internet and all of that is many of the independents and small companies went out of business. Most, if not almost all, in our area. Big box retailers came in. You can buy things online. So, and that, which is on one hand great, but on the other hand, what you miss in the experience as a musician is the experience that I had when I first started playing, going into stores and meeting other musicians and having that interaction. So I thought, well, I want to do that, but how do I do that in the world of today's, competitiveness with big box retail and online? So we just decided, something unique, only bring in the real unique manufacturers and that you don't get from big box retail, and it's worked out really well. It's been great.
we opened in 2010.
2010, 9 years ago. God, that puts time in perspective.
Doesn't it?
I'd have said a few years ago.
I need to go hang around the Adriatic more often.
I know.
I gotta go see that. So,
And we have our Love Life market inside of the sanctuary, and we're getting ready to, have it downtown as well, in that great little downtown area of McKinney
Squares.
I love the square, and I do go there a lot. I love it.
that I love so much, and it all goes to our foundation to help, with everything that we do. So that's really nice. You can come in and buy something for yourself and feel good about doing something for someone else.
Love that. So let's step back in time a little bit.
Yep.
tell us how each of you got started in the music business. How did that fall into your
Want me to go
Your
first? Do you
journey.
want to?
Yeah, go for it.
So I always wanted to play guitar from a little kid. I wanted to play guitar. And I had my father, who also has passed now, back many years ago, 25 years ago. Great man, just a great father. But he had if there was one little thing that we didn't agree on, is he assumed that guitar, playing rock and roll, which is what I'd like, rock and roll equals drugs equals death. So he thought, let's cut out the middleman and avoid the end. So
Right.
no guitar, because that will lead to death.
All the bad things, right?
Yeah, but he, in every other aspect of life, completely irrational. So I always wanted to play it, but I couldn't. I remember buying my first guitar at a garage sale. My father came home and saw it and said, no, you got to take it back. So I didn't start playing until I was in college. I was 19, 20, 21, it was at the end of my college. I started playing guitar, but that's how I started, how I got into it, and always had a passion for it, and haven't been able to dedicate the time I'd like. I have a couple other hats I wear.
Yes.
And you started singing when you were 4 or something.
Well, I came from my musical background. My grandparents, both full-time musicians. But I actually started out where I thought I was going to be a ballet dancer. I did that for almost, 16 years. And I went up to New York with my instructor and a couple other girls to look at the American Ballet and see if that was something I wanted to do. And I got up there, and I was still singing. I had a little band that I was doing, but I got up there and saw they were living in these rat-infested apartments, and they were all starving, and
So she thought, I'll be a musician.
I'm not going to do that.
I'll be a musician. They're not starving and living in around infested.
Yeah,
What
no.
was that thinking?
Right.
So that would have
But-
been the answer if you become a doctor. So I decided I'm
Yeah,
going to
no.
not.
So I just went one step up. But so I started out actually singing a lot in church, because that's I'm old enough where that was how you started out if you wanted to play that. And we were playing at a lot of VFW halls and Rotary Club, anybody that would needed music. And
Open for the puppet shows.
yeah, exactly. So I've been doing it since I was young. But I really didn't get serious about it until I moved back to Texas. I was traveling all over, and I came back to Texas in the later 80s. And actually, George and I both came back you came to Texas. And I'm a Texas girl. I was born here, but went off
86,
and traveled and came back. And my parents lived here. My dad lived in Plano. And I came back to be close to him, and ended up being in a lot of bands. And as fate would have it, George and I got together, and we've been playing music for 28 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride, and I think we've got a good 28 years to go.
Oh, no.
Willie's doing it.
Willie's doing it for sure.
Yeah, really is.
Willie can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah.
So we still enjoy it. It's it's opened up a lot of doors for us. Truly, and we'll continue to do that. And now with him as mayor, it's a lot of fun for people to find out that we're both musicians, and pull out a guitar and play music for some of these stuffy meetings. They're just like, whoa.
Makes it really fun. I love listening to you. It's
I love
fantastic.
listening to, live music just brings people together. It really
It
does.
Well, music,
in
is
general.
Transcends.
It does. It transcends everything.
It either changes your mood, makes you feel better,
Yeah.
gives you some deep thought.
Exactly. So how do you guys support each other the most? It sounds like you've got so many things going on. You've both got busy lives. You wear many hats. What do you do to help support each other the most?
Financially, no.
Since you only make $450 a
I make
month.
$400,000 a month, and all of that goes to Maylee's Starbucks bill. And I'm actually the bigger abuser of Starbucks, aren't I? We're number one. It makes it easy to support one another when you're in a band together. Take away the obvious conflict that may happen when you're in a band with your spouse, but we support each other musically. We're just by what we do. We're by definition, me as a guitar player, I'm supporting her on stage with music behind what she's singing, and she sings those things. What are they called again? Words, lyrics that fill up the space until the guitar solo. So we support each other that way, and then as mayor, she's ultra involved, with me in the city. And the city got a 2-for-1 deal when I was elected. She's completely involved, every aspect of it, every council meeting. She's engaged and paying attention to what's going on in the city, and then all the events. She's there.
So is he your guitarist in the Maylee Thomas band?
Oh yeah, and has been since we started. So
I love that.
And I tell people all the time, it is very rewarding for us to be able to give together like that, something that we're both so passionate about. And there's moments on stage that something will just click. And I mean, I've gotten real weepy in my older age now. I feel like I cry a lot, but it's just so wonderful to have someone that is such a part of my life in so many aspects. And I think, for most people that are married and understand this, that, you have to come to a place where it's a give and take, for sure. I joke about how the first 25 years of our life together, people were coming up to him and saying, "Oh, you must be George Thomas," because it was the Maylee Thomas band. And now it's his turn, because now people are coming up to me, "Oh, you must be the mayor's wife," And I'm like, "Maylee Thomas, don't you know?" But truly, I think that probably what makes it work for us is that when life gets in the way, and sometimes it does, and you feel like you're being separated, for us to stop and take a look at what really counts the most. And none of these things really count. At the end of our life, it's the investment that we make in our family and our friends, and to know that we left this world with something that that they can continue on with. And I know I was put on the earth to just love people. And when I'm not here, I want people to remember that, no matter what you want to say about Maylee, she loved, and she gave everything that she had. I told my daughter last night, I'm going to be that one that they drag across to the other side, wherever that other side is. I'm going to be the one where they literally drag me across and said she left it all there. Yeah. And I feel like George is the same way. We're both very busy people. A lot of people say that we're very busy, but I think it's more than that. It's really not busy. We're engaged, and we like to give, and we like to be a part of people's lives, and we do it together. And we've been through our ups and downs. Yeah. We've come out of this thing making a commitment, and it's probably more that than anything else, because if you go by feelings, those are going to change.
True.
That is what it's all about.
Point.
We've made a commitment to. You're stuck with me, and I'm kind of like that gum on the bottom of the shoe that you try to scrape off and you can't get it off. That's me in his life. He's stuck with me now.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
Oh, good deal.
Good.
So what's next for you two?
Senate, Congress.
No.
You're gonna run for president?
Hey, would you run for president?
You know what? I'm gonna stay off that subject.
I figured you might.
Well,
But,
part of the reason
Never hurts
why I
to throw it
love
out
him
there.
being mayor is because it's set up to be nonpartisan, and I think no matter where you lie on that, partisan politics are just ugly right now.
They've been ugly for a long time.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I enjoy my position is one that I can be nonpartisan. I can be about people, not about party. And if I were to ever try to do something else in politics, I'd probably be very unsuccessful, because to be in that, you've got to be a partisan player, and I can't. I'm about what's good for the community that I'm serving, and I could care less about partisan allegiance.
There you go.
Well, we have been so thrilled to have you on the show today. Thank you for coming. Thank you
Thank
for
you
giving
for
up your
having
time.
us.
I know your time is very valuable. So,
No more valuable than yours.
well, thank you. We just enjoy it. I mean, this is a highlight of my month every month. So thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
And
having
also
us.
want to thank again Craig Schrank with Willow Bend Mortgage for sponsoring our show. And we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you. I'm Caralee.
And I'm Stacy.
And we are your real estate professionals.
thank you for joining us on North Texas Networkers.
Visit our website, mariposagroupdfw.com. That's MARIPOSA Group DFW.com for more information about the show and other resources. I'm Caralee.
And I'm Stacy.
And we are your real estate professionals.